Every empire eventually faces its reckoning. And for the Brown family, what began as a dream of faith, freedom, and unity has spiraled into something darker. Maddie Brown breaks her silence, exposing manipulation, control, and a rewriting of family history itself. But before the dust could settle, another shock hit the family. A rumored pregnancy, a new beginning, or a desperate illusion. By the end of this story, you'll be asking the same question everyone is. Was this redemption?
She doesn't
or just another manipulation? Part 1.
She's sick, she holds it,
It began like a fairy tale, a large, loving family that broke social norms. TLC called it sister wives. America called it fascinating. But what the cameras missed was the quiet conditioning, the emotional hierarchy, and how Robyn slowly positioned herself not just as Kody's favorite wife, but his mirror. Narcissists often isolate their victims by creating confusion, guilt, and loyalty tests. It's control disguised as love. Behind every emotional scene was a narrative Kody wanted you to believe, the misunderstood patriarch fighting for love. But Maddie and others saw something darker. When loyalty becomes fear, that's when the mask slips. Maddie grew up watching her father's mood swings define the family dynamic. When Kody was pleased, the air was calm. When he wasn't, everyone walked on eggshells. Robyn's role was different. She learned the game early, mirror Kody's emotions, reinforce his grievances, and isolate dissenting voices like Christine or Janelle. Psychologists call it narcissistic triangulation, using one person's vulnerability to manipulate the perception of another. When Maddie reportedly described how Kody would rewrite events in real time, that's classic gaslighting. It erases truth to maintain control. But soon the control slipped, and the truth found its voice. As the family fractured, Robyn and Kody doubled down. They painted others as disloyal, blaming everyone but themselves. Maddie watched her mother Janelle break free and realized the same patterns she once accepted were psychological warfare. Control doesn't vanish when you leave, it echoes. And for the first time, Maddie decided to speak. What she revealed next made even longtime fans gasp. In a quiet interview, Maddie reportedly described years of manipulation cloaked in love, how gaslighting made her question her memories, how any disagreement was reframed as betrayal. Maddie: if you disagreed with Dad, you were against the family. If you sided with Mom, you were disrespecting Robyn. There was no winning. She exposed how the narcissistic duo used emotional currency, guilt, tears, and victimhood to rewrite family history in real time. In narcissistic systems, truth is fluid. Whoever controls the story controls the power. And when that power is threatened, retaliation begins. After Maddie's words began circulating online, fans noticed something strange. Suddenly, narratives appeared to discredit her. Claims twisted, stories distorted. This wasn't coincidence. It was the smear phase. When narcissists lose control, they destroy the truth-teller's credibility to protect their false image. Slander is their shield. If they can't silence you, they'll make others stop listening. But this time, the fans didn't buy it. The sister wives audience, especially women who've lived through narcissistic abuse, recognized the pattern instantly. She's not being dramatic. She's describing survival. The kingdom of control was collapsing, one truth at a time. The twist? Robyn and Kody didn't just manipulate others. They became trapped by their own narrative. The control they craved turned into isolation. Maddie's revelation wasn't just about them. It was a mirror for countless women watching. Women who've loved narcissists, doubted themselves, and finally saw the truth. When truth threatens illusion, the narcissist fights, but truth always wins. And that's the legacy Maddie may not have intended, but every viewer will remember. If you've ever felt trapped in someone else's story, share this video. Comment why I see the truth to stand with survivors. Part 2. When season 18 ended, Kody Brown was a man alone. His marriages with Mary, Janelle, and Christine had all crumbled under years of tension, jealousy, and control. Only Robyn remained, his soulmate, as he called her. Robyn had always been painted as the loyal wife, the one who stood by him when everyone else walked away. But loyalty came with a price: isolation. Viewers watched their love story transform from romance to resentment, from unity to exile. By the end, the once sprawling Brown family tree had only one fragile branch left. But from the ashes of heartbreak, Kody whispered a new promise. "We'll start over." And Robyn said yes. By early 2025, reports began circulating. Kody and Robyn were ready to begin anew. A smaller home, a quiet life, a reset, away from the cameras, the critics, and the chaos. They wanted a clean slate, new city, new energy. Robyn said she was done crying on camera. But while Kody dreamed of control, Robyn dreamed of healing. And between those dreams came something completely unexpected. A heartbeat that could change everything. It started subtly. Fans noticed changes: loose dresses, quiet public appearances, and carefully edited family photos. Sister wives sleuths began asking, "Is Robyn pregnant?" At first, the rumors seemed far-fetched. Robyn, now in her mid-40s, had once hinted she didn't want more children, but the clues kept adding up. If true, this wouldn't just be a baby, it would be a symbol, a new heir to the fractured Brown legacy. But when the truth finally surfaced, it sent shockwaves through the Sister Wives universe. In a surprise statement released to close friends, Robyn reportedly confirmed what fans had suspected: she was expecting. Robyn: "It wasn't planned, but maybe it's what we needed to start over." It's Kody. It was a chance to rebuild, a new purpose after years of loss. But for fans, the news sparked outrage and disbelief. She said she didn't want more kids. Is this a distraction or a desperate move? The pregnancy wasn't just personal. It became a cultural flashpoint. Could new life erase old wounds? Or was this another chapter of manipulation disguised as renewal? The answer came faster than anyone expected. Within hours, the narrative split. Some fans offered support. Others called it a publicity stunt. In narcissistic dynamics, a new beginning is often a rebranding, not a rebirth. It's about controlling perception, not healing the past. Old wounds reopened. Christine and Janelle's fans accused Kody of trying to rewrite history, Robyn's supporters defended her, saying motherhood was her peace. Fan. #1. This isn't love, it's legacy management. Fan. #2. Or maybe it's her way of finding joy again. As the debate raged, one chilling rumor surfaced that Kody had reportedly pushed for the pregnancy, hoping to bind Robyn even closer, fearing she might eventually walk away too. If true, the new beginning wasn't about love, it was about control. And then, the twist no one predicted. Robyn's pregnancy reportedly ended with complications. Both she and Kody were shaken. The loss transformed their new beginning into a reckoning. For the first time, Robyn spoke not as the villain, not as the favorite wife, but as a woman grieving, trying to find meaning in the pain. Sometimes, starting over means facing everything you ran from. Robyn Brown. The backlash softened. Fans who once criticized her began to empathize. The story wasn't about manipulation anymore. It was about humanity. Kody and Robyn's journey to start anew didn't restore the Brown family, but it reminded millions of women watching that new beginnings aren't always perfect, but they are real. If you believe every woman deserves a second chance, comment "New Beginnings" below. Your voice helps keep the truth alive in the sister wives story. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. It started over a decade ago. TLC's Sister Wives introduced America to a plural family that promised love without limits. 4 wives, 1 husband, 17 children. But what looked like harmony was already cracking. Legal documents from Utah and Nevada show the Browns were forced to relocate multiple times to protect their plural marriage from prosecution. Under Utah's 2013 anti-polygamy laws, bigamy remained a third-degree felony, forcing the family to flee their own state for survival. Behind the scenes, emotional power struggles were growing. Kody's authority deepened, while Robyn, the last wife to join, became his anchor and his echo. Narcissistic partners often find enablers who mirror their worldview. It strengthens control, but erases individuality. And for one daughter, watching from the shadows, it became impossible to ignore. Maddie Brown, daughter of Janelle and Kody, reportedly described years of emotional manipulation masked as family values. According to her, truth wasn't a constant. It was whatever Kody and Robyn decided it should be that day. It's textbook gaslighting. They twist reality until everyone doubts themselves. On Reddit, thousands of women who'd escaped narcissistic relationships shared their own experiences, calling Maddie's story heartbreakingly familiar. He'd change the story mid-argument. You'd start apologizing for something you didn't do. Reddit user, healing after Kody. But while fans were still processing Maddie's truth, a new secret began to form, quietly and dangerously, just a few miles away. By early 2025, the pair's relationship had become their fortress and their prison. With Christine, Mary, and Janelle gone, Kody and Robyn lived isolated from nearly all of their adult children. They told friends they were starting fresh. No cameras, no drama, just peace. But peace rarely lasts long in this story. When Robyn appeared publicly wearing loose-fitting clothing, fan speculation exploded. YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, all buzzing with one question. Was Robyn pregnant again? And after all the lies, the heartbreak, and the manipulation, could new life really be part of the Brown family's redemption arc? According to leaked insider accounts, Robyn privately confirmed she was expecting, calling it a sign from God that love can rebuild what pride destroyed. For Kody, it was a second chance, a clean slate. For Maddie and her siblings, it was a painful déjà vu. The man who'd abandoned emotional accountability was starting a new story, without ever closing the old one. She's having a baby while the rest of the family's still healing? This isn't new life. It's deflection. But behind the joy of new beginnings, another storm was forming. As news spread, Sister Wives fandom split in two. Some called it a blessing. Others saw it as manipulation. When narcissists feel their image slipping, they create new narratives, new distractions to recenter control. In families like this, pregnancy can serve as emotional glue. It binds partners together, even if the foundation is unstable. Janelle reportedly told close friends she was heartbroken, not surprised. Christine, meanwhile, posted a cryptic story. Some lessons hurt, but freedom is worth it. Fans took that as subtle commentary. This isn't just about one baby, it's about rewriting the narrative again. The show's tagline might as well be, "When control looks like love." And then, just when the world thought it couldn't get darker, it did. In late 2025, reports emerged that Robyn's pregnancy faced complications. The same fans who'd mocked her were suddenly silent. The tragedy humanized her in a way no episode ever had. For Maddie, it was closure of a different kind. The woman she'd once seen as her father's enabler was now suffering her own reckoning. Pain had come full circle. In family systems built on control, the truth always finds its way out, sometimes through confrontation, sometimes through loss. And for the fans who followed for 14 years, the lesson was universal. Truth and healing don't come from control, they come from release. As one chapter ends and another begins, the Brown family's story is no longer about polygamy. It's about survival. And for every woman watching who's lived through manipulation, heartbreak, and rebuilding, this story isn't just theirs. It's yours. Long before the cameras, before the drama and the separation, there was laughter echoing through the Brown household. In those early days in Lehi, Utah, the wives worked together like clockwork dinners, birthdays, homeschooling, chaos, but with love. Maddie once said her childhood smelled like cinnamon rolls and hairspray, but even then, small signs were growing who Kody listened to, who he ignored, who had to stay silent to keep the peace. Before Robyn entered, Janelle was the quiet force, Christine the laughter, Mary the gatekeeper. Together they built what they thought would last forever. They didn't know it was already beginning to crumble. When news of the pregnancy spread across social media, the Sister Wives community waited for the ex-wives' reactions. Christine didn't name names, but her live stream that night said everything. Christine: sometimes you realize peace isn't built on pretending everything's okay. It's built on walking away. Meanwhile, Janelle shared a quiet message on her Instagram story, a photo of the sunrise, captioned, "We all deserve fresh starts. Just make sure they're honest ones." They're not being petty, they're being real. They've lived this. They know how the cycle works. For many women watching, these weren't just sister wives talking. They were survivors teaching others how to let go. To understand what's really happening beneath the surface, we spoke with licensed family therapist Dr. Michelle Waller, who has studied emotional dependency and control within plural families. Dr. Waller: when someone feels their identity slipping, they often manufacture a crisis pregnancy, relocation, even a new beginning to regain emotional dominance. It's not always malicious, but it's always about control. She explains that this pattern, known as emotional cycling, creates short bursts of hope that collapse under the weight of old wounds. Dr. Waller: the more public the image, the deeper the denial. Healing can't start until truth replaces performance. Online, the debate exploded. Reddit's Sister Wives thread hit record traffic. This isn't love, it's damage control. Maybe she's finally finding happiness again. Every season is a rebrand they never learn. On Facebook, longtime viewers argued over morality, faith, and motherhood, while others admitted, "I've been Robyn before. I stayed when I should have left." It was no longer just their story, it became a mirror for thousands of women confronting their own. As Kody and Robyn face their uncertain future, the rest of the family quietly rebuilds their lives off camera. Christine thrives in Utah. Janelle finds independence. Even Maddie, once the silent observer, has become the voice of truth. But this story isn't over. Because next time, the ex-wives return stronger, freer, and finally unfiltered. Next episode, Christine Brown. The rebirth of a sister wife. If you believe truth heals, tap like to support this series. Comment "I choose freedom" below, and subscribe for next week's deep dive. Christine Brown's rebirth and the rise of the ex-wives.